39% of women say this is the worst makeup brand. Hi, I'm Laura Ray, and we're going to talk about 3 brands today that people are saying online are the worst makeup brands. Now, keep in mind, some people think these products are wonderful. What I want to do today is share some of my favorites and a few not so favorites. According to the internet, 39% of women said Wet n Wild is the worst makeup brand. I've heard complaints over the years about certain products, but I've found so many that have worked great for me from Wet n Wild. First off, I want to start with the Impossible Primer. I had the original, and today I'm trying out their brand new stick, and I really like this. I like that it's easier to apply than the squeezy tube, and this really helps as far as filling in some pores around here that I have on the skin. They're more noticeable from breakouts I've had in the past, and so that area really looks improved with a primer, and I think this really works great. It's one of their newer products. Recently, I did a wear test on YouTube Shorts for this skin tint from Wet n Wild, and it held up great during my work day. It still looked fabulous at the end of the day. Now, one thing I've noticed is that the scent on this is not as strong as it was on this one. This product was so polarizing. Some people loved it, others said it smelled like straight up paint. And I felt somewhere in the middle. There was a scent, but it really dissipated very quickly. But I actually like this skin tint so much better, not only the way it looks on my skin, but also just the way it applies and that it lasts longer. I had some trouble with this wearing off during the day, and this one stayed much better. It's got niacinamide in it. I'm not really a fan of some of the skincare they're putting into these products because I already use them. But overall, I thought this did a great job. Another winner from Wet n Wild is their brand new blush that they have. This is actually for the lips, and it's a blush. Again, I did a wear test on this. It held up beautifully all day. Now, as a lipstick, it wore off within a couple of hours, so it didn't hold up great for that purpose. But for the blush, it looked beautiful. And I think, as you can see, it looks very nice on mature skin. It holds up all day, and it is buildable. I could have gone stronger with it. I wanted a softer look because I went a little stronger and bolder with the eyes. But these are great blushes and super affordable. I have 3 other Wet n Wild favorites I want to share that I think are really superstar products. First of all, their Walking on Eggshells is a classic palette. These shadows blend beautifully. I didn't put primer on even today because I'm not going out anywhere after the video, and I thought I'll try it without a primer, and I think the shadows look really soft and beautiful. So that's a longtime favorite. Now, this is a brand new product. It's called Glow in Love, and it is a primer, but you can just dab it on like I did as a highlighter. I wouldn't want this all over my face. It's just super glowy, as you can see, but I think it looks very nice on the skin for a little bit of highlight. It's rare for me to hear anyone talk about the glosses from Wet n Wild. Stephanie Marie is one of the few people I've seen talk about them. Beautiful. I think these look gorgeous on the lips. They're a little over $2. How can you beat that price? They feel just as nice as some of the pricier ones I have. So these are some of my all-time favorites. One complaint about Wet n Wild is their mascara, and I think they're trying to come out with some better ones now. The one that I used to love was, and maybe you remember this, it was a mascara where you did a layer of fibers and then the mascara, and that worked so good for me. I can see why there have been complaints. I've had other mascaras from them that have smudged and didn't do too well. So I would say their strengths are some of the products that I've shown you today. I would say their weaknesses are mascaras and also liners. But let me know what you think. I am always willing to try something again if you found it works great. e.l.f. has had many complaints, and I know many of you, like me, have found some great e.l.f. products. The complaints, let's see, I wrote down some. The lack of coverage with their foundation. I've used their foundation. I felt it was good, but it's not one of my favorites at the drugstore. They said that their lipstick rubs off quickly, and I think any brand might have that complaint about some of their lipstick, and then that their mascara doesn't do its job. I would agree in the past, but lately the lash rolling one that was supposed to be a dupe for Benefit, I thought was great. And this one here, out of sight. It's a tubing mascara. I just love this. I've done tests with this also, and it just does not get all over the place. I think it's beautiful. Some of these tubing mascaras they originally came out with, the Thrive and the one from Tarte, are very pricey. My daughter saw this on me and she was like, "Mom, I gotta get that. It looks amazing on you." And it lasted. And tubing mascaras are just so nice because they don't smudge or flake, and they just wash off the lashes, the tubes come off. So I'm a huge fan. Another product I'm a huge fan of are their blushes. I love the Putty line. This is the regular one here, and then they came out with the Luminous. My favorite is the Luminous. I think it rivals any Charlotte Tilbury product. If you haven't tried this and you like a nice little glow on the cheeks, I think you would love it. Now, another product I rarely hear anybody talk about is this brush. This is the e.l.f. Complexion Duo. Now, if you look here, this is the one from IT. They're very similar. Now, the one from IT is more rounded. This is a little more narrow, the e.l.f., and more compact. But I used it today to apply the foundation, and I think you can see it did beautifully. Now, if you look at this end, this is for concealer. I find that this is the one that's even more alike. So huge savings on this brush. I think it's amazing. I remember when e.l.f. started in 2004, I placed an order, and I remember when the lipsticks were $1. Do you remember those days? $1 and like $2 for lipstick? Well, their lipstick costs a lot more now, but it's improved so much. This is the newer e.l.f. lipstick they came out with. It looks so much like NARS packaging. It really does. It even has, look, a magnetic closure. Now, this is the shade Effortless, and I think it's a beautiful lipstick. Now, I've topped it right now with the Wet n Wild gloss on top, but you can see me putting this on, and it's just absolutely stunning. A beautiful lipstick and a drugstore price. Now let's talk about something that I did not like from e.l.f. and I'm not a fan of the camo CC creams they've come out with. The original looks so heavy on my skin. I just could never find the right shade either. I bought two. I bought one that was too light. The next shade up was too dark. I tried mixing them. It just never worked. It looked very fake on my skin. Well, I went out as soon as they came out with this, and many of you have seen my review that I did on this, but the minute I put it on, I got stopped up. My sinuses just totally shut down. It was the scent of the sunscreen. And one of you wrote me that you ended up in the hospital, not from this, but from a sunscreen before doing something similar. And those of us that struggle with allergies and sensitivities to things, we have to be careful. And when I put this on, within a minute, I just felt so stopped up. And I left it on for maybe 10 minutes and had to wash it off my face. So unfortunately, this isn't going to work for me for that reason. But even when I put it on, it still looked very heavy. It made me look older. I felt like I actually looked older with it on. And if you're going to get the benefits of a sunscreen, you need to have quite a bit. And the little amount that I would put to make my skin look a little bit better would never be enough if you're trying to cover with sunscreen. This is definitely one of the worst products I've ever tried from e.l.f. I can't leave out this brow lift from e.l.f. It's about $3, I think, maybe $4 now, but it's Instant Brow Lift. And if you're just looking for a very affordable eye pencil, I find that it lasts. And it's just good for filling in. If you're trying to make your brows larger, I wouldn't recommend it because it doesn't have a fine enough point. This is more for someone just filling in sparse areas. But I really like it. This shade is the taupe and it's very natural. You can see it's really easy to just fill in little spots. And you've got the spoolie. So if you're looking for a very affordable pencil, I think this one from e.l.f. is great. I was shocked, shocked that Neutrogena would be on a list of the worst products. I think mainly this happened because of a problem they had with sunscreen a while back and an ingredient that was in the sunscreen. But I've had a lot of great times with Neutrogena. There are many products that I've been very loyal to, that I've used for more than a year, and I've really enjoyed. One of them is the Hydra Boost Hydrating Tint. This is just so thin. This was one of the first at the drugstore that just had such a unique, thin, skin-like feel to it and wasn't too much. Like this was way before all the other skin tints. And I've bought this several times. Now this does have a little bit of a scent when I first open it, like I'm smelling it now, but that dissipates. And again, this has hyaluronic acid in it. It seemed to be one of the first at the drugstore that had that. And it says moisturizes and plump skin for 24 hours. I've never worn it 24 hours, but my skin really did look nice and natural. I loved wearing this to work. I just thought it was such a nice foundation where people would think I wasn't necessarily wearing foundation, but that my skin looked nice. A longtime favorite of mine are these lip crayons. They're so beautiful. I love the shape of using a lip crayon. It's just so easy. Many times when I use this shape of lipstick, I don't even bother with a lip liner. It's easy to apply, and there's some beautiful shades. Now this one is, let's see, Rich Raisin. It's a deeper shade. I usually don't wear one this deep. I go with something maybe a little brighter. But I think it's so beautiful. I bought it back in the fall. I've had many of the shades over the years, and I just think this can rival like the Clinique chubby pencils. I think this is a great alternative. Another amazing product from Neutrogena are these eyeshadows. I love them. They call them actually the sensitive skin eyeshadow and primer. That's sort of, I think, interesting that they say plus primer. I find that any of these cream shadows that are this kind of shadow just dry down beautifully, and I don't need a primer. But this shade that I'm wearing today, I went ahead and put on top of my powder shadow. I often will do that. I'll put on a powder shadow, then put this strategically on the eyes. But when I purchased this, I purchased 3 shades. You can see this one, so beautiful, like a coppery shade. And then I wanted one a little cooler, more of a taupe. And so I bought that one. It looked very similar to one I had from Charlotte Tilbury. So these shadows, I think, are beautiful. They're worth every penny. They run around $10, and I just think they look gorgeous on the eyes. Now for one that's sort of a stinker for me, I recently purchased this from Neutrogena. It's their lip oil. It felt great going on, very moisturizing, but within a short time, it just dried down and it felt like I hadn't put anything on at all. And I was shocked at the ticket price. I paid $14.59 at Target. It's even more expensive at Walgreens, I think $15.99. So to me, that's pretty pricey when you look at the amount of product you're getting. And I love the ones from NYX, the fat oil. Those last for hours. They stay on my lips and they look so pretty. So this to me was not a winner. Let me know in the comments your favorites or your worst products. That would help all of us so we don't go out and buy those and waste our money. And if you think there's a brand that should have been on that worst list, I would love to hear it. Maybe that'll be a future video. All of the links for everything I talked about today are in the description of the video. I appreciate all the support of my channel you've given me. You're just all amazing. I hope you have a blessed week. I love you so much, and I'll see you soon.